Has Sue Ellen's reach for the bottle gone too far? Has Dusty's anger got the better of him? Or will Cliff Barnes finally settle the score? The wait is over tonight as we find out who shot JR at 9 p.m. But first, it's your friendly Thamesmen.
Hello.
How are you?
I tell you, I'm inspired. We are, what's this, day three? Day 3 of Rush Week. I'm George. I'm in Los Angeles.
I am Alex and I'm in San Francisco. And you're right. We are in Rush Week, aren't we?
A Rush Week. And we've done a fair few. I think we did like 12 Rush tracks maybe already or something like that. And anyway, we decided to fill in some of the gaps. And we've had some help from our friend Sean, who has put together a compiled list, and we are doing a bit of a classic now.
Yeah, the thing about Rush is they're a very complex band, and when you hear them first time, you're kind of trying to get to grips with what is going on, what where. So to have the notes behind, actually bring them to life, and then get the music is great. So thank you very much, Sean, for doing all this wondrous work. And today we're doing, what are we doing, George?
The Spirit of Radio. Which for me was like one of the earliest tracks I ever heard. And actually, we did a version of this, like episode 25 of the Thamesmen. We actually did Spirit Radio, but a different version of a different take on it.
Don't go back to that early stuff. You can't. That early stuff is really rough as.
But I'm also still really I still get very like twitchy about how messy your backdrop was. Back then, I was just like, could you please tidy up in the background? Please do that.
Oh dear, he's like he is
your mother.
He is the Thames woman of the Thames men, and in a non-biblical way. I tell you, it's wonderful. He keeps everything together. But yeah, we did it before, but we did a live version, and I didn't really understand what's going on and what the background. That we can't do all the notes because Sean writes these amazing notes. Anyone who was with us for Kate Bush Week will remember that we had to put the notes on Patreon and we put them up there for free so everyone can read, because they're such brilliant notes that we skim through them, but they're just too long to read, aren't they?
Well, unless we want to be here all night and we want to hear the music, so we'll read a little bit of the notes and then you'll find them on our Patreon channel for free. If you feel like joining us there while you're there, perfect. Do you want to read some notes? Or would you like me to read some?
Well, basically, I mean, in very briefly, this song was written as tribute that is all good about the radio. This song simultaneously attacks the more cynical and greedy motives in radio and the recording industry that feeds it. So before the radio, the musician would play, and that was it, the only time you could get music. And then the radio came along and unleashed music. You can get radio all day. I mean, we're used to having streaming, whatever, but the radio was a big phenomenon. And you didn't have to wait for the musician. You could hear the music. But then the greed came after, because then they realized they could get a whole industry and they could start milking this lady cow for what it was. And has that now tainted the purity of the music?
You said lady cow, didn't you?
I did, lady cow.
And you really upset one of our subscribers by calling lady cows, because cows, by definition, are ladies. Because otherwise they're bulls.
Thomas, who was that? Thomas said a man without a winkle is a lady.
Most were a boy, my little cherry pip. What? Yeah. Out you popped out of your mummy's tumpkin, and everyone shouted, "It's a boy, it's a boy." And then someone said, "But it hasn't got a winkle." And then I said, "A boy without a winkle? God be praised, it's a miracle, a boy without a winkle."
Anyway, the lady.
Do you think cows have pronouns?
Yeah. Moo may.
Moo may.
So yeah,
I distracted you. Carry on with your.
Yeah. Sorry. You have. I'm just thinking of the pronouns of cows. Oh, man. So So this is basically about how something great which is the radio, was then later on turned into something cynical in the music business.
And something from the earlier notes, from like the bio that Sean had put together, was that one of the things that led to Rush's success was that there was the working man track and a radio station in Cleveland, because the DJs would look for longer tracks so they could take a bathroom break, which is like slightly strange. And so, they would need enough time to get up from their seat, because there'd be like a one-person operation. And Rush gave that opportunity to a DJ, and they got played in Cleveland, which was a working club, a working town at the time. And so, the Working Man, which we did in one of our other videos, which was a great track. I really enjoyed Working Man. So anyway, so radio is integral to their success, but equally it is a tricky master.
Read all the notes on Patreon. The link is down there, because Sean is a master of the pen. He's a wordsmith, which is absolutely brilliant. That was a quick, a bastardized summary of his notes. So yeah, looking forward to it. Let's hear it. Huh?
Okay, are you ready, sir?
Let's see. Yes.
Are we counting down or counting up?
I think we're going to count down.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Boom.
writing on the studio wall. Concert hall. And echoes with the sound of salesmen. Of salesmen. Of salesmen.
Oh. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
I think
great.
that's one of my favorite songs, but that's because personally, it was like, I think in the break I was talking to Alex, I was saying, when I was at school, it was like the first song I heard at a really high volume on a PA system. Like some guy had the album and he played it really loud, and it blew my socks off when I was very young. And that song has great reference to me.
I had closed captions on, so I was reading the words. Did you do that as well?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
That was absolutely brilliant, and it went all the way back to the pirate radio. I think.
Yeah, exactly. Radio Caroline kind of thing.
Absolutely. So pirate radio, for those who don't know, all the radio was controlled by the BBC in England. So very Second World War, very upper stiff lip, and pipe and old tweed suits. So you couldn't broadcast any kind of cool music. You couldn't get it on the BBC. So then these radio stations, they decided, you know what? 18 miles out, it's international water. So why don't we get these boats and we just set up a radio station, and they were called pirate radio stations. And there were many of them that are out there, and they did really well. And
the most famous was Caroline, wasn't it? Radio Caroline.
Yeah. And they had, but then they legitimized and said, we're going to, BBC came down, the law started coming down heavily on it. And then the BBC said, all right, we're going to do it. And they invited some radios and DJs, and that was John Peel came from Radio Caroline, and quite a few others came over, and they legitimized by the BBC.
Now one of the, I think it was Caroline, sank while it was on air, didn't it? Like the boat.
Really?
Yeah, I think there is like, I don't know, maybe we could try and see if we can find it. But there was like, they sank while on air.
I bet they kept playing all the way down.
They did. They went down. They went down with the boat. I think, if I remember, I wonder. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I do have a recollection of like people. I wasn't there, but people were sort of saying, "Well, were you listening when we were on air when they sank?" So
it was cool. It was great. I mean, they were talking about. Can you imagine just driving and turning on? I mean, before radio came out and they're playing the hits, and then all of a sudden you can drive. You got the freedom of the car, and then you could turn on the radio and get pop music, and it would have been a magical time when it was a bit more naive, right before the record executives came in, and then they were saying. Then they started singing about, prizes and glittering prizes and salesmen. And it was a smart song. It was an excellent. And I love all the little great hooks, great chops, changes. It was a great track.
I love the bit where about 350, where it sort of changes from like that studio setting to the stadium setting to the back again. And like the different, exactly. The little different, what's that Bodie song? They would change different moments. It was like, I honestly think that's one of my favorite songs. Just because it's accessible. It's not a big epic. It's not a big sort of, one of the big sort of classics. Just for me, because of where I came from, it's brilliant. I love that song.
I think if it was on the buffet table, it would be pineapple and cheese stick. It's just easily accessible table. You're going to go. It's safe. You're going to start there before you move on to the more, kind of the stinkier cheese.
I think maybe a bit more prawn cocktail. Where you grab the tail and you dip it into the tomato, into the sauce.
Not that cliche. It's not that cliche.
It's not prawn cocktail. You think it's
maybe not? Maybe a charcuterie.
What about little chipolatas on a stick?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I'm getting hungry.
Oh, yes. You know what I'd like to eat?
What would you like to eat?
Curry.
Well, but where would you buy, if you had a choice of anywhere in the world, where would you buy your curry?
Have you ever heard of A Taste of India?
Funnily enough, I was just there the other day. Is that in Thanet?
That's it.
The Taste of India. Experience the taste of India.
The Regency Tandoori Restaurant. Private functions catered for. Takeaway service available.
Check out that chicken vindaloo. It's cracker.
Absolutely. This is absolutely free. It's true. There is a curry house down the road for me, and it's on the side of the highway, which obviously is a class establishment.
Yeah, of course.
You know, if you go, I mean, a curry house has to be in a slightly dodgy area, and their sign outside is one, it's free Wi-Fi, and second of all, free motorcycle parking. Oh man, absolutely brilliant!
Hell's Angels welcome.
And when you go there, the velour seats are covered in yellow stains. It's perfect.
Well, that sounds like a bloody good curry. You go there a lot?
Absolutely. I went there once, got ill, so it was a good night.
Yeah, perfect, brilliant. Was that the curry or the lager?
The curry, hopefully.
Okay.
Don't react to lager.
Yeah, fine. Yeah. That's what saves
Anyway,
it.
back to the track. I really love that, and I love the video as well. That must be a new video because that's
Yeah, it was kind of, because it covered a bit of their history, didn't it? Like their logos from various albums and different things, and it was fun. That was a cool track. So.
God. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was day 3 of Rush. You're on a journey with us. Absolutely brilliant. If you can please like and subscribe, it just helps the channel. We do odds and sods weeks, and then we do curated weeks. If there's a band you would like created, or curated, all you have to do is write to us, and then if we pick it up, you pick the tracks, you do the notes, you do all the work and everything, and we just we just sit here and read your work. But thank you, Sean, for all the amazing work you've done on this, and hopefully everyone here, when you see Sean in the notes, say hi to him, because he's done a great amount of work.
Yeah, he has, and we and honestly, everyone who adds to the commentary, adds notes, adds what they know, their stories, is why we do it. That's why we do it. It's brilliant. So thank you. We really appreciate your support.
I do that, and free curry.
Thanks, Taste of India.
Thank you, Taste of India, for keeping the lights on. All right, we'll see you tomorrow for day 4 of Rush.
See you on the flip side.